Let's go tell 'em about it. The promise of love, yeah. Let's tell 'em.
Silently wandering, walking awake or asleep, one foot in front of the other, longing for deeper truth or just a piece of good news, a day like any other, and entering our lives horizon we see,
We will see
the hope that we all so desperately need. It's the promise of love,
it's the promise of love.
of hope for us all found in one. Here is invitation to every nation, the promise of love.
Promise of love.
It's the promise of love.
It's the promise of love.
The promise of help for the hurting heart, sent from heaven above.
Sent from heaven above.
The promise of love. Hiding from truth too long, things I believed were wrong. Can't keep my head together. Grabbing for new insights, holding on for dear life. I close my eyes and I hope for the better. We're often searching way too hard.